I'm like, I'm about 45. Like, you know, because they're all my kids.
This is our guest. He's got the record so far. You got hands up. We've been going a year and a half easy.
Well, his name is Gary fucking Johnson. What do you expect?
Yeah, so this is what happens when you're old and you have the reflex of a 45-year-old.
Buying or selling a home is one of the most important decisions you're going to make, so you deserve someone who truly cares about your journey. I'm Amy Richardson with the Savvy Realty Group and HomeSmart. Living and raising my family in Ahwatukee for nearly 20 years, this community isn't just where I work, it's my home. Growing up in the Midwest, I learned early the importance of connections and relationships. These values shape everything I do. From our initial conversation to long after you've settled into your new home, I'm here to provide ongoing support and guidance. From staging to cutting-edge marketing strategies, we expertly showcase your home to sell swiftly for the highest possible price. So if you're ready to buy or sell, please reach out to me. And remember, important decisions require savvy solutions.
At Vero Chicago Pizza Ahwatukee, we focus on quality and a great pizza experience.
With over 30 years in the business, we've perfected our craft to bring you the best. Our pizzas are made with top quality ingredients, creating rich flavors that capture the essence of Chicago-style pizza. And our family recipes like the homemade meatballs and Italian beef sandwich add a special touch to our menu. Enjoying a meal at Vero is about more than just food. It's about making memories with friends and family in a welcoming space.
Join us at Vero Chicago Pizza Ahwatukee and taste the difference for yourself.
Well, welcome back. This is it, episode number 79 of our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series. We're live from Vero Pizzeria, which we always love, Vero Chicago style pizza.
One of the best, very familiar. We have amazing shows here.
Yep.
And here's another one.
Yeah, it all started here. For people that don't know, it all started here.
Very first show.
On today's show, we're going to talk to Ryan Armstrong. If you're interested in selling a business, he's going to be here providing some of those expertise. Gary Johnson does marketing for attorneys. So if that's in your wheelhouse, that should be interesting. And we're going to start today with Shereka Jackson in just a moment. But I do want to take a second and welcome our newest partner in crime, if you will, Brewers Heating and Air Conditioning. They're brand new to the podcast. We're super grateful for their partnership.
Or Flip-Flop Brewers Air Conditioning and Heating.
It depends on what season it is.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, it's right now it is heating. It's a good call.
That's awesome.
I love it.
And of course, Amy Richardson from the Savvy Realty Group. She's always a great partner. Let's jump into this. You ready to meet Shereka?
Future stars. I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, so Shereka and I go back. I was just telling Steve, is it 8 years?
2020. I think we met in 2020, COVID, with Title I Tech.
Right before then. But we had to have had some common ground before that.
Longer, but
with Lloyd and Kima and.
Well, yeah, definitely. So I found out Lloyd and I went to high school together, but you know, what can I say? I didn't really know him because I was a senior. He was a freshman, but hey.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But you know, most likely we didn't run across each other in circles, but I think the relationship was sealed in 2020.
There it is.
When we drove to Casa Grande.
No, we went to some place in
it's
north
before
of Tucson. Oh, it's before Tucson.
It's before you get to Tucson.
Yeah, Marana or something like
that's
that.
Marana.
Right.
Marana. That's what it was. See, we're going to get there.
What she's talking about here is we've talked about this before on our YouTube and podcast series about Title I Tech, which is something I started with my buddy Lloyd, and we grew it up, and then we gave it to Shereka so she could blow it up. And that has been the case. And she has taken over Future Stars has taken over the Title I Tech operations, if you will, and that was like one of our very first drop as we went down to that little community. And all I remember is Sarah Freeman pulling in with that freaking 40-foot U-Haul that she had rented, full of all these laptops and computers that we had.
All right, I'm calling timeout and a rewind. You guys know each other way too well. Too many names, too many businesses. Let's start. What is Future Stars now? Because that's what is it about? Remind me of Title I and the audience, and then we talked about how this
sure.
this
I'll let the star of the show.
Yes, the star. Yeah. Let's do it.
So Future Stars is a passion of mine because every child is a star no matter what they do. Mm-hmm. So I'm a Phoenix native. I was born and raised in the Maryvale, South Phoenix community. And when I graduated from the University of Arizona, I went back to my old high school and I started coaching basketball at Maryville, and so I'm a Panther. So in the midst of that, I was noticing the disconnect of our students being ready to go to college and or being exposed to STEM education. And so what am I to do? How do I solve this? Because I'm coaching high school basketball and I'm getting kids potential scholarships to play basketball, but they weren't ready. They didn't have the tools and the
academically, right?
Well, or the NCAA clearinghouse and all the things you needed to do to be able to go play at the next level. And so once I was air quote fired, just didn't renew my contract, as they say, after 7 years of coaching. So I coached at 4 years at Maryville, 3 years at Carl Hayden. After that, I launched Future Stars. Because as I said, every child's a star no matter what they do. And so how do I equip them and get them ready to go to college? But I also work in tech. So my full-time job is I'm an IT professional of 26 years. And I know what technology did for me as a woman of color in tech, the opportunities I had to fly international, to visit and to do all these things because of the resources it brought to me. So how do I get more kids of color into this tech space, especially girls, because I'm still one of three. In the government environment I work in, there's only 3 female women of color that's there, which is crazy.
Out of a number of how big?
The entity is about 14,000 people.
Oh, wow. Gosh.
And so there's 3 African-American women that work in tech. So that is why I started Future Stars, is how do I change that? Or how would you say, how do you move that needle, right? How do we change that trajectory to bring more people of color? And so I started in 2008. And it was a slow growth, slow simmer, because I still have a full-time job until we gradually started moving. And 11 years ago, I started what's called our Hands-On STEM program, and that program has garnered all the attention. And then our Hands-On STEM Fair, where we have over 400 youth and families that come out to engage with 20 to different 30 STEM activities.
Can I just a question on that? Can you talk the difference about actually being there, like in front of people, instead of talking at them remotely? The impact of that in front of those situations.
So our program is designed to meet students where they're at. So we go into the community centers and we engage with them hands-on. So I am not a book learner. I'm a kinesthetic learner. I learn by doing, touching, feeling, and all that. So we were intentional in designing our program around that, because I'll fail a test in a minute, but give me something to fix or do and I can get it done and all of that. And so we're making sure we meet kids at that moment, because not everybody, you got to think about it. We are still teaching in the 1900 model of teaching in most classrooms.
We are.
And we haven't changed that. So I may have kids that want to sit on the floor or stand. I have a kid that literally stands up during the whole class because he's comfortable. Like, he's really into what he's doing. So that's fine. He doesn't have to sit.
Right.
Like, we make sure the environment is conducive of the children and the youth and what they're trying to do.
That's what I was looking on, the hands-on approach, as opposed to, again, learning from remotely from books. I mean, I love that.
Well, and your Hands-On STEM Fair has grown into this massive thing. I mean, tell me where it started numbers-wise, and tell me where you're at
what's
last
massive,
year.
Yeah.
So year 1 of the Hands-On STEM program was 87 people showed up, give or take.
Pretty good.
Yeah, for first time out,
Sure.
Did it in May. Bad idea. Had to move it to April because
Figure things out.
It was a little too hot. And then last year we had over 400 attendees with over 100 and something volunteers. We have 15 small businesses that we supported through food trucks. And so we were able to support 15 businesses that came out to help that day happen. We also had mammograms that were given to people that day. We had 100 devices that were given out that day. So it was our 10 years. So we went big with a lot of things that we did last year, but it's constantly growing. And we have partnership with great organizations like the Larry Fitzgerald Foundation, South Mountain Community College, On Semi, the Mayo Family Foundation, Northwood Grumman. Like, a lot of people come out to that event, because the one thing people say to us is, you have the kids of color. You bring out the kids of color in the sense of the brown and black and native kids are at your events, and we dominate the numbers. And we want to be a part of that, because, a lot of businesses say they're doing that, but we are the ones that are bringing that out. And so organizations are intentional to coming to us, and people say, well, why do you have that? I said, because my face is on the page. When you see someone that looks like you or that can relate to you, you're more apt to go to those things and feel comfortable and feel seen and feel validated. And so we're doing it again, April 25th. We will be back at the same place.
Awesome. Sounds like an amazing event.
Yeah, it's a good time.
So what happens at these fairs, and how do people get engaged if they want to?
So what happens is our goal this year will be about 15 to 20 different tables. So what it is you have activity tables. And so some of the activities they'll be able to make this year is a little drum set. We're going to have a little guitar, like a little fake guitar, but then we have a little solar fan. So you're coming and you're building it there. So because that day is a fast-paced day, we find simpler activities, but it's going to engage you. And the reason we do hands-on activities because we want the conversation to continue at home. Because if I'm just giving you a piece of paper and talk, hey, Matt, read about this solar car, this solar house, it's a great thing. What are you going to do with that piece of paper? Versus if you're taking this solar house home and then you put it in the sun, then you put it in the shade, and you're able to see what the difference is of what the power of solar is in your cabling, it continues the conversation at home. And so they'll go around to 20 different activity tables, engage with as many as they can. We have a passport that they fill out they have to hit at least 12. They turn the passport in and they can win a prize. We'll have food trucks. We have a DJ. We call it a party, a celebration of education, because we have a DJ out there DJing. We have food trucks out there. This year we're going to have a mariachi band come out and do some mariachi. And so we're just changing it up each year.
I just love it. You see why I like working with her?
Absolutely. I figured the energy, you said that she's going to be, dynamic, and kind of cued you up for what we have. So I was ready for this.
Yeah.
So amazing. I do have a question regarding the confidence you see all these kids. Can you share either a story, I'm sure there's a lot of them, where at one of these events you just saw somebody maybe that was really in the background and really gained their confidence through their STEM program, and really that still gives you kind of like,
you got 100 stories.
Yeah,
but give us a win.
Who comes to mind? Maybe somebody recently.
Which story?
Something recently.
So I will give you, he had confidence, but so I have a young lady, her name is Amina. She is an artist, but she also comes to STEM. And so she's been in my program for 3 years. Her brother was 5 when he started, or he wanted to start at 5. And he was always, Miss Shereka, we don't start till 7. And so every now and then I would let him do an activity depending on the range of it, because at 5, we don't really want to have to babysit you at 5. But so now he's 7 and he's in it. And literally every month, his mom was like, he's like, Mom, it's today? Is Saturday the STEM day? Mom, when is STEM? And then if they have to, no, Mom, I'd rather go to STEM instead of X, Y, and Z. So he knows his schedule. And he's like, are we going to see Miss Shereka today? So every month, it is like clockwork. And so this month we had 2 different activities that they did, and then they were supposed to paint it because it was a woodwork activity. And he was like, can I get another activity? Because I really don't want to paint. So he finished 3 different activities while the other kids are on 1 or 2. And he's 7 because he is that into it. The light just went on. And he just had like, he's a good time. Like, he is going to be my baby that I
he's
like
a future
carry.
star.
Yes,
yeah,
he is.
Say it. Yeah.
He is definitely a future star. His sister is a future star. The artwork you saw in the building, she's the one who designed the artwork that we put up in our new space. I call them all my kids. And so when I say my kids, people are like, oh, how many kids do you have? I'm like, oh, about 45. Like, because they're all my kids. And I just, the one that's happening, I have one that's graduating from college. And so I saw her at the ribbon cutting. And I was like, if I don't get my invitation, we going to fight. Like, if I have to fly to Maryland because she's graduating from Maryland in May, I'm going to support these kids regardless of whatever it takes. And so she's graduating, then applying for veterinarian school. But when she came to us, very shy, very timid, but now she's this woman. Like, college and being around us has really elevated who she is. And so when I see them, I just be like, oh, my babies
Beautiful
are growing
to
up.
see,
My babies
right?
are growing up. So
Yeah.
it's a good time. They're a good
Awesome.
time.
That's
Thank
so
you for
cool.
sharing that.
Well, and she just moved, so Shereka just took over a new space. We had like the little housewarming party, if you
Yes.
will, a couple of weeks ago, which I thought was a lot of fun. What will the new space allow you to do?
So we will continue to be in the community centers, meeting them where they're at, but the new space will allow us to do 3D printing classes. So we're an after-school program, and everything normally goes in Shereka's car. Well, you can't put a 3D printer in your car and then take it out because, balance and all of that. So with this space, we'll be allowed to do 3D printing. We're going to be able to expand we want to develop a hardware program where we can teach young adults, juniors and seniors in high school how to fix a computer. Because if you go to college, you now have a side hustle to fix people's computers that you can, hey, $50, I can work on your computer. Or if you don't go to college, you can now go be someone's help desk tech for $50,000 and then have that job pay for you to go get your degree. So we want to equip juniors and seniors in high school with an A+ certification that can get you a job right out of high school. So that is one thing that we're going to do in the building. We're going to offer more sewing classes. So we have a scrunchie class for girls where they'll make scrunchies. Sew and make scrunchies. In February 28th, we have a fort building class this Friday where they're gonna. So we have one of our instructors in the architecture.
That's
so she's
fun.
gonna have
a fort building.
Yes,
class.
they're gonna
I
build
needed that
forts.
when I was 7, man.
She's like an architecture design, and so she's like, I want to do a fort class for the kids. Cool. So
Let's
we're going
do
to
it.
do that this Friday. And so it'll allow us to do classes that we're not able to do in the community centers because of the requirements of the
Yeah,
materials.
you got your own place.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Oh, and
Yep.
it's such a
Yeah.
great facility, and it's
Yeah.
probably a great location for the communities that
Yeah.
you try to serve, and all of the things that come along with it. I know, because I know you personally, that there is some plan here to eventually pass this baton to somebody and let them keep the party going. What are you hoping for over the next couple of years? We've got an audience that may be interested in what you're doing and wanting to help out. What kind of needs do you have right now?
So as I was saying, I have a full-time job. So at this moment, I don't take a salary. And so I will be retiring from my job. And so our needs are going to be the financial support and the volunteer support so that we're able to grow it to the point of hiring full-time staff, hiring full-time instructors, and moving it to the next level. So my ultimate goal is to work in it full-time for 5 to 10 years, maybe. If I'm able to get out in 5, I will. But I don't want my nonprofit, and I say mine loosely, to die with me, right? I want the next generation to come in because I'm aging out of the young people, right? Like you can only work with young people.
I don't know about that.
You
You look pretty young to me.
You can only work with young people.
I know,
for so
but don't
long.
you still got some youthful energy. Don't
But
sell yourself short.
I want young people to come in and be able to move it to the next level and get it to the ultimate goal that I have for Future Stars is the same way you have a Boys and Crows Club everywhere. I want a Future Stars in every state. I want it to be able where it's chartered or a chapter of Future Stars where we're the base, but we're able to take our models and people are able to do it in other states because I do believe we bring it different. And some of the people say, well, why are you different? Because I'm a tech that designed a STEM program. I'm not a teacher that designed a STEM program. So it's designed based on techs and how we move a little different than how teachers are taught to teach. And so, like I said, so financial support is always the way that we're going to be able to grow and move forward. Because we don't have any full-time staff, and that is the goal, is to get full-time staff. That is the goal, is to have, your HR team, your finance team, like all the things that business need. That is where we want to get to so that we're able to employ people if it's their second career or fresh out of college career, because those are the ones, those fresh out of college, because I have college students teaching. And one of my instructors, one of the things that she said to me, she's like, standing here teaching a kid made my internship easy when I needed to do my presentation. So not knowing that what she was doing then is now, and now she got when she graduates, she will have a full-time job at this. She's leaving me. I'm a little upset about that, but it's helped her be able to build her confidence to speak in front of those executives.
Who makes the best volunteer for you?
Anyone that's willing to engage with students, because you don't have to be tech. Because what I tell people that volunteer is these students don't know you don't know. If you don't tell them you don't know the answer, they don't know. So the way to encourage kids is be like, oh, okay, so what does it say? What does the instructions say? And when they read it back to you, the odds are they're going to figure it out and reading it back. And then you're going to figure out the next question to ask them. You don't really have to answer their questions. You ask them a question and then you keep asking questions and they will get to the answer. That's what a good volunteer is. You don't have to know what you're doing. It is literally, how do you support them in their learning and how do you ask them questions?
Well, I'm sold.
Yes. Well, I love the
question from you. Yeah.
I love the vision, and I say stick with it because you are different. A lot of people fail to recognize that, and they always say, like, how are you different? You explained how you're different, and everybody, Future Stars, has their own stamp. So I know that now. Okay, my final question. I better put my glasses on for this because that's when I mess up when I look down on my.
And you can't read.
I can't read.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, it's almost ridiculous to hold the glasses and not be able to see the paper.
I have to figure this out. I never wore glasses my whole life. You're
getting used to it.
I'm not used to it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't. But anyways, question, Shereka. If your life's work were symbolized as building something, which you are, would it be laying foundations, building bridges, or launching rockets?
I think I'm a little bit of all of it.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit of all of it. You know, I'm giving kids some foundational skills that regardless if they go in tech, they're going to have these skills because now they're going to be able to have conversations on how to solve problems or how to critically think or how to work in teams, which is the foundation for anything that they're going to do regardless in their careers. And or if they live in a dorm, you need all those skills to live in a dorm with 12 other people on the floor and sharing bathrooms. Building bridges with various organizations and various families. Like Future Stars doesn't just help that student. I can sit here and tell you about moms that I've helped get jobs because I look at the whole family. So we're building a bridge in the community as well, through different community partners, the families and the whole. And all these kids are being launched. They're all rockets. They're all going to be superstars and go to the.
So there was no or. I love that answer.
Yeah,
it's
going to be all of it.
It's all of it.
It's going to be all of it.
So
my gosh,
we are creating the next generation.
We will link to Future Stars in our show notes so that people can go and tap on that. Is there a specific part of your website that you want people to key in on for volunteers? Does it say like volunteers?
Yeah, there's a volunteer tab. There's a donate tab. There's a tab for our programs. If you have young people that are interested, the fairs information will be up on our websites within the next couple of weeks. If you're someone that wants to come out and have nieces, nephews, grandkids, anything in that sort that would want to engage in hands-on STEM programming.
Yeah. God, I like me some Shereka a lot.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's just amazing.
It is so cool.
It really is.
Yeah. And look, bright futures ahead for everybody. Thank you, Shereka, for coming.
Thank you all for having me.
Coming down to our hood.
Thank you.
This is a take two of us trying to get together.
It's fine. It's fine. As long as it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a really quick break. When we come back, we're going to sit down with Gary Johnson and see if he has anything to add to this thing. No, I'm saying that because I'm staring at him right now off the camera. I'm sure it's going to be great, right?
He said it was, so he promised.
We have this great relationship, and you guys will see that next. Hang tight.
For over 2 decades, Culture Infinity has believed luxury begins with how you're treated. From the moment you walk in, you're welcomed by experts who know luxury and value relationships. And our white glove service meets you the moment you arrive. Simple, friendly, and effortless. We're more than a dealership. We're part of this community, committed to giving back, supporting families, and earning your trust. Infinity's award-winning lineup, designed for families, for drivers, for those who expect more. Culture Infinity, a dealership that cares. Come experience the difference.
Hi, I'm Kim Selchin, owner of Tutor Doctor of Ahwatukee, Chandler, and Gilbert. We understand every student is unique, which is why we meet them where they feel most at ease, whether online, at home, or in a public space. Our academic coaching is designed to help even the brightest students overcome organizational challenges, sharpen study skills, and build confidence, empowering them to achieve their best. From kindergarten to adult, we believe every student can be successful. We also have expert SAT and ACT coaches to help teens with college admissions and scholarships. I'm excited to learn how we can partner with your family to help today's learners become tomorrow's successful adults.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series. We're live from Vero Chicago Pizza down here in our hood, Ahwatukee, Arizona.
It's starting to smell good. The ovens are firing up. They're getting cranked up. They're just about to open here.
Is there a pie in your future?
Not tonight.
Okay.
I have dinner with my daughter lined up. It just is one of those I'm looking forward to. But I mean, we're here at Vero, I think, in a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
I'll be right back at it.
Okay. Well, the guy that you hear off to our right is Gary Johnson. I met him recently at a National Speakers Association meeting, and look, there was just a little chemistry. What do you want?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, we're dating, and so
And he's on the podcast.
Two messed up
some people call it going to breakfast, but no, we had a great little talk, and I was like,
Awesome.
you got to come on the podcast
Yeah.
and talk about what you
Interesting
do.
subject. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since we have one of our clients that
Well,
that sponsors this show.
I was
part of
thinking
the
about
shows,
that. We
yeah.
need to introduce
Duenas,
Gary to
yeah.
Duenas Eden and Cravata.
I
don't know who that
we,
is.
We want to show.
You will now. They
They're
sponsor our show.
They're an amazing local law firm, 3 amazing women, and they do it a little differently. And we created their vision, the commercial that you'll see on this show.
Okay.
And I can't wait to get your feedback on that personally.
Yeah.
Because we do that. We live in the same arena, you and
Yeah.
I do too. Not specifically
Yeah.
to what you do, not that niche, but I've lived in that world, and that's what I also
You lived in the attorney world?
No, I live in the marketing world.
Oh, the marketing world.
yeah.
Yeah.
Marketing world.
Not-
Well, that's
Yeah.
you. That's
Thank
you.
God, not the attorney world.
So the byline of Gary Johnson, coaching attorneys to elevate their book of
Right.
business with cutting edge marketing strategies.
Yes.
So I know nothing about the attorney space, even though my sister works for one of the biggest law firms in the world.
I wasn't pre-law though, by the way.
You were pre-law?
I was pre-law student. I switched to business. Though.
Did you ever
Good
want to
move.
be an attorney, or just
Yep.
you did?
Yeah, my degree is the most ridiculous degree ever unless you go to law school, which is political science.
Oh.
It's almost like pre-law, like
Yes.
or criminal justice.
Well, I
is
was
a-
taking those.
yeah.
Those were the classes I was taking. I
Yep.
bailed. I said, "This isn't me."
Yeah.
And so it was a. It was
I
a
wish
good
I
move.
would have done the
I
same
did. I did actually did a. I did a co-op for a very large firm in Boston, and it was. I mean, it was a great environment, like the looks of it. But the intensity, it's not like the shows. I mean, it's very, very high stress level. It's like you have to be a different cut and very negative too. I mean, sorry, attorneys.
It's
out
very
there.
adversarial.
It's a very
Which
Adversarial.
yes, good word. I
It
gotta
is
say that.
very challenging from them to go from adversarial to attraction. Because that's what marketing is, right? So they're always challenged by that because they're like, I'm fighting, or advocating, and now you want me to be nice. Like, play nice.
Yes, play.
And
I'm a great guy, yeah, a
like,
great gal.
like the smile. It's one of the first things that we work on is what is your facial cues when you're having a conversation with somebody? And they're like this, resting bitch face.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but that's how I'm always. When I'm working, this is me. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not really you. And it's not very attractive. And people aren't across from you going, I'm going to work with Steve because, no, he's an asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
right,
I'm not
right,
gonna
no.
do that,
You're not
right?
going to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So marketing your law practice, you say, can be challenging, expensive, and frustrating. What is your approach with the folks that you work for? How are you a little bit different, Gary?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we are coaching them on how to build their own book of business. So we don't work with law firms, we work with lawyers, individual lawyers.
Got
Okay.
it. Got it. Thanks
Whether
for
it's a
making that
group
distinction.
coaching or it's one-on-one coaching. And so I always say we have 3 different phases of the coaching. First is foundational, where we are working on their messaging. We are working on their red velvet rope policy. We're working on their target market.
Hold on, back up. What's the red velvet
So your red velvet rope policy.
cake? I know red velvet cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's about
So-
it.
Big fan.
So think of red velvet rope at a club,
Got it.
which you have a bouncer that's holding it, right? So they have one hand on the red velvet rope and they have one hand on the clipboard. Who's on the clipboard? The VIP people, the people that they want to let through. And so what you want to do even as any professional, you want to have certain standards of who you're going to work with, because it's not a one-way street. It is, we're both trying to figure out, do I want to work with you and do you want to work with me?
Right.
But I need to educate my gut on what's non-negotiable and what is what is really good for me in regards to who I'm working with. Like, I have a no asshole policy. If I'm on a phone call with a potential client and I realize after the first 5 minutes, this person is not coachable and they're kind of an asshole, I'm done.
Yeah.
I cut it off quickly and I just say, hey, look, it's not a good fit. And if I can think of somebody who would be a good fit to help you out, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I will never, ever let them know. And I just won't think of anybody because why would I do that to somebody else?
All these people that had that phone call with Gary are going, I knew it.
Totally.
I
knew it.
I'm sure in that field you must have a bunch of these. I've heard we call them the idiot geniuses.
Yes. But you know what, though?
No idiot geniuses allowed. It's like...
But here's the other thing about attorneys. Attorneys get a bad rap for what they do. Everybody thinks, oh, you're an attorney, you're an asshole. And it is so not true, because what we think of is the person who's across from me, the attorney who is attacking me, the attorney who is advocating for their client. They're doing their job. That's all they're doing. Your attorney who is next to you, who's saying, don't say that, say this. Yes, we're good there. Yes, I'm going to protect you here. We don't think about that person. We think about the person who is attacking us. So we think all attorneys are assholes. They're not. Across the board, they're really good people. But you do have some assholes.
I'm gonna back up on that because I'll say some mostly fortunate, but some unfortunate. I've had my shopping of attorneys have represented in the past, and I've found that too. Most of them, again, like what are you looking for? I mean, a pit bull. You're looking for somebody who is more of a diplomat. I mean, are you? I guess I want to talk to you about that. Does that set the stage too of how?
They market?
Yes, market. Because let's bring up the amazing law firm that represents Duenas, Eden, Cravata.
Yep.
They do not, and we portray that. That's why they love their commercial, and hopefully our audience does well. They don't like to go. They don't want to be the fighters. They want the people who are more going to play nice.
Hey, we want to work this out.
We want to work this out. They're not. If you want, they're like basically if you want the pit bulls, don't look at us. So, anyways,
That's Ted Baker.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, that guy that I always see on the billboards with the half muscles.
But I love it. I happen to, again, coincidentally, speak to somebody today who she represented, again, fortunate, unfortunate, and loves her, said loves Dory Eden, and because she was that person. So again, if you do, to your point, you find the people. Now, I will say, if you're looking for a pit bull and you go to someone like that, you're not going to be happy, and you may misidentify. So how do you help them identify their audience that they want? Like, what would you tell Duenas? How do you find those people that want more mediation but with more teeth?
Great question. So going back to the foundational stuff, is the messaging is geared around your target market. We have to figure out who somebody's target market is. Most attorneys don't have a target market. Or they
have a specialty, but not a target market, right?
Everybody is my market. Right. Like a divorce attorney.
And you lose.
Everybody can have it. Right. And you go, that's nothing. When you're everything to everybody, you're nothing to nobody. So we have to get really targeted with that. So once we understand who their target market is, and there's simple ways to do that. Who do you love working with? Who are your past clients? Who can pay your services? Because that's a really important one.
Qualifier.
Right, it is, because it's like, okay, they can't afford my services. Then why are you targeting those people?
Right.
Either you have to change your services and your pricing, or you need to change your target market. And they're like, I don't want to change that. I'll change my price. I'll change my market.
Right.
And also, who do you love to learn more about? Because you need to be energized about it. And then so once we figure out the target market, then we look at that and say, where do they hang out, and how do they make decisions? So I'll give you an example of this. I have an entertainment attorney, and we did all of her videos for LinkedIn. Like, she was going after certain attorneys to refer her business. So
it should be mentioned that this guy is the co-founder of LinkedIn for lawyers.
Oh,
yes,
which should be mentioned.
So, so we looked at this and said, okay, let's make these certain videos, because she's going after not only the attorneys but also producers, directors, and talent. And about a year and a half after we were doing all of this, she goes, I want you to help me make TikTok videos. And before I said, fuck no, there's no way, because I don't know TikTok. And I'm like, why? She said, because I'm changing my target market to go after influencers as well. Beautiful.
There you
TikTok,
go. Makes
perfect.
sense. Yes.
Right? It makes sense. And I said, I don't do that. I'm not going to learn how to do
somebody
that.
else does.
But I have somebody who can. And they were off and running.
Perfect.
Right? But that's where their influencers are making their decisions on Instagram and TikTok. They're not making it on LinkedIn.
Right.
And so we have to understand the psyche of the target market so that we can show up there. Because like people go, should everybody network? No.
Yeah, I love Gary's take on networking. I mean, you're
Because-
very colorful about it.
Yeah, and it's something that not everybody should do, but it's also if you're not able to go where your target market is or the people who serve your target market, you are wasting your time. And time is such a valuable asset. It's the most valuable asset for attorneys as well. They're doing the billable hour or they're on a contingency basis, but we have to really realize how can we save them time? Well, in order to do that, you have to be extremely effective. You know, I'll give you another example of this. Divorce attorney. Had a divorce attorney I was working with, and she came to me and said, why have we not talked about SEO and Google ads? She's like, I just talked to another divorce attorney and he is crushing it. He spends $7,000 a month on SEO and Google ads and he's making $35,000 a month. That's a pretty good ROI.
Sure.
And why are we not doing this?
Right.
Because when we checked out that attorney was going after just like normal people.
Yeah, hit and runs.
Right.
And on this,
Well,
of course.
$1,000 to $10,000. That's how much it costs for a divorce. My client, high-end individuals, her minimum is $50,000.
Okay.
It's $50,000 to $250,000. You spend that $7,000 on the SEO and Google ads. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have so many people calling you that can't afford your services.
Yeah,
You'll be frustrated.
Hire an answering service to get those. If that's what you're going to be taking messages, basically. It's
It's
a
going to
really
be a
good point.
waste of time. So instead, what does she do? We had her focus in on financial advisors. Because if I am a wealthy individual who has $20 million in my portfolio, guess who I'm calling when my wife leaves? My financial advisor, because I want that to be protected. And so the financial advisor is like, I got somebody for you. Here we go. And then they send them right to that attorney because they know that attorney is going to help
That's
them
the specialty.
because they have networked with them. They've built a relationship with them. And then they're off to the
I
races.
think this is what is impressive about you, and don't let this go to your head. But
it
you,
will.
Yeah, he's already
it's like
gloating.
a lot of people know how to fish. They just don't know what lake to go to. Or,
Yes, that's a great one.
Or the spot on the river, right?
yes.
But you know the spot on the river, like you know the part of the lake to hit.
Right.
And,
Right.
you,
That's
and you have
what's
to know, and you
impressive.
have to know what type of, you can't be, catching catfish in a lake where there's no catfish.
Right,
And so
right.
you got, there's multiple layers of it too.
Yes,
And
yes.
so, and you got to go where
I hope you'll start using fishing analogies.
and then
now.
you got to go where the rocks are, where it's shallow. I mean, you get the
Yeah,
This
it
is
makes sense. Go.
This is on the coaching too. Talking about, I know I've read that you coach on people's strengths,
Yes.
their authentic self. Instead of, I know a lot of people these days try to mimic, do what I do. I personally don't think it works, especially in this world of social media. Everybody has a different way. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, Steve, you nailed it on the head in regards to it's all about authenticity.
Speaking of nailed it on the head, wait till our third guest gets here.
Yes. Side note.
That is so messed up.
I love it.
is
a little
so
foreshadowing.
good. That is so good.
What was the question again? You're
What was the question again? So what was the question?
Damn you! I forgot it too. I forgot to put my glasses. Maybe put my glasses back on and everything. I'm talking. You coach.
Sorry, the brain works really
Strengths.
quick.
There's strengths.
There's strengths as opposed to try to copy somebody else's. This is what I do.
Yes.
I do this every day. I do that every day.
Yes,
Talk to me.
and the reason why you don't want to mimic somebody else, because your business isn't the same as them. Your target market isn't the same as them. Your daily routines are not the same as them.
And you're not.
And you're not the same as them.
Yes.
Right, right.
Like if I try to mimic what you do, I'm not going to be successful at that. And I'm looking at you going, oh my God, he's so successful. I just need to mimic that. Now, granted, there are certain aspects of it. Like we always say, if you want to be successful, learn from very successful people, see what they do. But you have to take it and put it through a lens of saying, this doesn't work for me, this does work for me, right? And so when we do that with their strengths, you say, look, we need to make you into a great networker. Like you're marginal right now because you don't have the right tactics. You also don't have the right mindset. And once you get that mindset in, it'll be great because you have a strength in developing relationships with somebody, with talking to other people, with asking questions, with being an active listener, all that stuff. I can identify that very quickly and go, okay, let's focus all of the strategy around that strength and put you out. Like video is a great example. Not everybody should be on video. Like the next guest that's coming up.
So terrible. They're all friends. They're all friends. Okay? They know each other. It's
has
all
a
good.
face for radio.
No, he doesn't.
There's gonna be a fight in the parking lot here.
know.
I'll
Well, you won't be able to tell who loses.
I know.
So terrible, man.
So, but
Ryan's gonna have to do some damage over
but
there.
because so and Steve,
Ryan's
I
gonna
know
walk out here in a minute. Is what
I
he's
know
gonna
you
do.
get this.
Yeah.
There's so many things that you can do in marketing. That's good and bad. It's good because it gives you different options. It's bad because it gives you too many options. And you're like, I want to do. We synthesize it down and said of going after 100 different things, let's do 2.
Yeah.
Let's really get you focused and intentional because as an attorney, they're all over the place. The more simplified, it's not easy, but the more simplified it is, they will be focused. So they won't get shiny object syndrome. I should do this. I should do this. And they will get better and better at it, which will cause them to spend less time doing it and making more money and working with those ideal clients. So it comes together.
It's funny to me how much all businesses are so similar to the radio business. Like in the radio business, we would say, become known for one thing. What's the one thing you want to be known for?
Yeah.
And that plays into this. And then we would also have a filter. And if the idea that we had to talk about that morning didn't pass through the filter, we weren't allowed to do it. Yeah. It was like, it isn't fit the target market, so why are we messing around with it?
Totally true.
It's really what you're talking about.
I just started a podcast last week, and it's called Unfuck Your Legal Marketing.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah.
It's probably gonna get a lot of play. somebody's gonna be like, "What is this all about?"
But that's exactly it.
I get it.
What's going on? But it goes with my personality too, because in like one of my networking groups, I am known as Gary fucking Johnson. That's what everybody, they go,
That's
GFJ.
hilarious.
You know, because in our group we swear a lot. We don't do it offensively. We do it because we just go, there's
I
no
don't know.
filter,
I've been
let's
pretty
go.
offended several times
You
in
know
this
what?
conversation.
That's
And I
because
will say,
you-
as our guest, he's got the record so far. You got hands up. We've been going a year and a half easy.
When his name is Gary fucking Johnson, what do you
I
expect?
mean, people drop a couple F-bombs here and there. You're like, I mean, every other sentence.
So, Steve,
this is like the Joe Rogan.
yeah.
So I asked him, I go, how clean? And he goes, be
Dirty.
yourself.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
dirty.
you have no idea what that is.
Right.
Can I tell dirty jokes? He's doing?
But to that point is it's all about legal marketing.
Right.
And it's if I have a guest on that doesn't do marketing, which is okay, like an attorney, I don't want them to be talking about their practice. I want them to be talking about what's the marketing I do. Because when people come to the show, like they come in, they are having an expectation. What can I expect? I'm not talking about somebody's personal life and how they came through this. That's just not that podcast. It is, how do we do marketing and how do we bring in business in a really cool, different way? And so it's exciting, but it's the same thing for a target market for an attorney.
Yeah, right.
Is you got to get that focus on their strengths.
The finale, or do you have the finale? I got the finale.
You've got the. Let me see if I.
Let me see, because sometimes he's got a question that is pretty, like they're pretty electric.
Let's see if I'll go yours first. Mine's okay. Yours might be better.
Mine is a closer. So
Yours is better.
I'm just feeling
okay.
like
Then,
mine's a closer.
We're gonna go with yours.
Okay, here it is. In a recent post, you said that you need to step up your Rizz.
Oh, geez.
This is already better. This is already better than mine. So go ahead.
In case you don't know what Rizz is, that is
No, go ahead. You give the definition.
Well, it's your swag, right?
Yeah.
It's your ability to stand out and be
Mojo.
noticed. So
Mojo.
how do you coach the folks you work for to up their Rizz?
First is they have to understand that they're authentic.
Okay.
And they have to lean into that with confidence. And the way that they do that is by having solid messaging, so that when somebody says, so Matthew, what do you do for a living? You don't go, I'm an attorney. Because it just makes you feel weak, as opposed to having a signature statement to that enables them to go, yeah, that's me. And then I can up my level of authenticity, because it really is that swagger that you get. A lot of people think that attorneys are very arrogant, and some are, obviously.
That's a job you have to have a little ego
You
for.
have to have a lot of ego to be that.
Confidence for sure.
Confidence for sure, because nobody wants to hire an attorney who says, I'm okay.
Yeah, right.
You can't. So you have to level that up. But it's that level of confidence that you have for the law. How do we raise that for their personality? Because once that matches, and you're humble about it, it opens things up. I mean, one of my signature talks is charisma is a skill that you can learn. And once people really understand what are the little things that you can do for charisma, their confidence goes through the roof. And then they go, this stuff isn't that hard. It's not as complicated as I thought it would be. And therefore, their confidence goes up, and then their Rizz goes up. So that they're like, I'm authentically myself.
The Rizz is up.
It could be the name of the episode.
Yes.
The Rizz is up.
The Rizz
is up.
Gary, thanks for coming down.
Oh, thanks for
you.
having
Great.
me. Yes.
So good. Tell me something about our next guest, because I need people to understand you are friends.
So Ryan Armstrong is one of the best business brokers in the Valley.
Okay.
He buys and sells businesses. They're typically
Stack that
anywhere
up to
from
his
$1
soccer
million
skills.
to 10 million. And he is one of the most gorgeous human beings you'll ever see.
Amen.
And
Just kidding.
We're gonna have to. Poor Ryan. Poor Ryan's taking a beating here.
Hey, but
We're
here's
gonna-
the best part. He gets the last segment.
I
He
know.
gets the last word.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean?
It's called The Last Laugh. So I want to say congratulations on your podcast. Good luck with that, too.
you.
I think you're going to do very well. You sound
Thank
very
you.
pointed. And
Yeah.
I'm, of course, very interested and intrigued with what you're doing. And best of luck.
Thank you
keep
very
it
much.
up.
And thank you for having me. This is awesome.
You're awesome.
You guys are amazing what you're doing for the community
Yeah.
and everything. Especially your Shereka, like, come on. I had to go after her.
I know.
Like, I'm sitting there listening to her going, she is incredible, and what she's doing is incredible for those kids.
So meaningful.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you got to, move the needle. We're almost on 80 episodes. We have got, it's dozens and dozens and dozens of people really doing the type of
And then people
amazing
like Gary.
things. And then Gary, truth be told, guys like Gary helping people do amazing things.
you go.
Come on, I'll give you a little,
marketing
lift
guy.
He
He can
is.
I got to lift him up a little bit.
There you go.
I want him to
So
come
good.
back on again. I want some
He'll be
referrals.
back.
I want
He'll
some
be back.
referrals.
He's
There we
great.
go. We'll talk.
All right. We'll link to Gary's, all of Gary's business is in our show notes. And as you have heard for the last 10 minutes,
Everyone's like,
I know, everybody's like, I got to meet this Ryan Armstrong now. Ryan Armstrong will be with us right after this. Hang tight.
Divorce is never easy. It's emotional, uncertain, and deeply personal. That's why at Dueñas Eden Crevata, we start by listening.
Unlike large firms, we specifically limit our case size, so your case never gets lost. We guide you through divorce, custody, and property division with clarity and care. Some lawyers equate aggression with success. We know better. We lead with compassion, integrity, and unwavering advocacy, because protecting families requires more than a courtroom fight.
At Dueñas Eden Crevata, we're more than attorneys. We're your partners for tomorrow.
What makes Bella Set lingerie so unique? For starters, check out the vast selection and size range. Cups from A to K in styles like balcony, plunge, wireless, strapless, and more, including mastectomy and maternity bras. With superior customer service and free professional fittings, it's the go-to bra shop in the East Valley. Locally owned, with 2 locations in Ahwatukee and Gilbert. Check out our glowing reviews on Google and Yelp. Visit bellasetlingerie.com to learn more.
Well, welcome back. This is episode number 79 of our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series. Before we jump into it with Ryan, special thanks to Shereka and Gary for stopping by. And then I want to say thanks to the Tutor Doctor and to Coulter Infinity for being just great partners of our program. And a shout out to Bella Set, where we're going to be our next show is going to be live from Bella Set, and I think we've got another lingerie show, right?
We do.
Yeah. It was one of the most popular episodes that we had.
It was. So
last
this
year
is
for
going to be,
obvious
and this
reasons.
one's going to be, it's going to be spicy. That's what.
Spicy?
Spicy, but in a tasteful way.
Well, Ryan, I'm sorry you got on this show at the pizza place.
Yes, yeah. It could
So,
have been.
let's address the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
We were
let's
making
talk
jokes
about
about it.
it.
This is a soccer incident. What took place, Ryan?
Yeah, so this is what happens when you're old and you have the reflex of a 45-year-old.
He's trying to skateboard again. That's
Yeah.
what he made up this story about soccer. He's skateboarding.
I wish it was that. Soccer, I just I was playing goalie, got taken out, and
It's like a turf burn?
It's like dirt. Like we play on a very municipal field, and so more dirt than grass. And it's a little.
So
bit
this is what we call. Is this beer league soccer? We call like beer league hockey. Is this
this is what we call like Hispanic league soccer. So
which is kind of like that?
Yeah, it's very similar. Yep, it's
Okay.
very dirt fields, very not straight lines.
And after you guys are all kind of retired and you're all dads and doing things and you get together and still
Retired
run
from
around
your soccer career.
Nobody's making any money playing soccer.
No, we are losing money at this point.
That's
and
exactly
skin.
right.
Yeah.
So that's when you get something like this. It's like, oh, geez. And I got this to go home with.
Okay, so that aside,
Yes.
I do want to. You're in a world that I don't know anything about. I know very little about. Steve knows a
I know
lot
quite
about
a
this
bit.
world.
Oh, nice. So I got some questions for
Transworld Business Advisors, selling your business is our business. That's the tagline. And so we're going to talk about that idea today of how people, because look, I feel like that's the thing to do nowadays. All anybody's trying to do is build a business so they can sell a business.
Well, that's all they're supposed to do. That's the number one thing. That's the number one mistake, Matthew, that people do not do starting a business. They do not plan an exit strategy. Now, very few people, because everyone thinks they're just going to keep doing it forever, riding the sunset. We're going to talk to Ryan. I'd like to know the statistics of that. But I also think there's a lot of other questions that are along the line of that, like how many businesses right now are turning over that we got baby boomers that have been really owning their business. To Matthew's point, like these people have owned these business now a long time. If they don't have family, talk about that.
Well, I think it's so we help people sell their business, right? And one of the things that we deal with the most is that either like they've waited a little too long, and so there's nothing left to sell, right? So they're not turning over at all. They just go like, we have a value. Like businesses have a value, right? No matter what you think about them, what you want for them, like mathematically, there's a value that goes along with that, and we can kind of figure out what that number is. And sometimes we have sellers that are like, that's not a number I'm okay with, and they go until they're done and they close it up. And so not every business is transferring like you think. Probably, when we're listing businesses, it's 20 to 30% of those businesses will sell if they're priced correctly.
Interesting. So what types of businesses sell well?
Currently what's selling well is anything in the service industry, HVAC, plumbing, roofing, any of that. Med spas are pretty popular right now. Another one that sells a lot that you wouldn't think of is nail salons. We're getting a lot of activity in nail salons. And so, but generally, like we tell everybody, the best business is a profitable one. Those always sell. Right. And it almost doesn't matter to the industry. If they're profitable, if they're making good money, then they will sell.
Yeah. What kind of profit margins are people looking for?
They're looking for a business that's generating $250,000 in what we call seller's discretionary earnings, or like $350,000 in EBITDA. That's kind of the number that they're looking for. That is an actual like business that they maybe don't have to be an operator of. Any business that's generating less than that revenue, they end up having to be an operator. Like you're buying a job, right? You're not gonna get money, buy the business, and still be able to pay a new employee, service that debt, and then still have money left for you. So you either have to decide buy a more expensive one, or be the operator, like work the business, build it up.
Working ownership.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Owner operator.
So you got a couple questions. I mean, you talked about profitability, the type of business. I know the one question everybody has. I'm kind of going to draw like your business life cycle. Like, I guess I'm going to call it, when do you actually jump out of the plane, so to speak, when you're talking about profitability? Because you're building your business here. You say you're building. I'm looking at the audience. You're building. You get to the top, and you're kind of riding it out. Now, this is where a lot of people, in my experience, have failed. They've really held on to that business too long till it's way down the cliff. It's way past what people call their what's the name I'm looking for? Their
it's their peak, right? Or
yes, their peak.
I think it's when the business owner loses interest. Like I think it's not a numbers thing, like because like it's where they take their foot off the gas, right? Or they take their foot off putting somebody else's foot on the gas, right? When they're going like there's a dollar amount like where like businesses, as soon as you stop growing, right, your multiple slows down, right? So if you're constantly growing, you're worth more. If you're flatlined, your multiple is not as high.
I guess my question is more point is like more like your company, your maturity. You know, like there is no maturity.
Like so we sell.
True.
That's what people think.
You're either growing or dying. That's some people. That's more like the thing.
Yeah,
you're saying.
people think that we sell like old people sell businesses. That's not true. We sell business of all ages. It could be like I've had this business 3 years. I've grown it. You know, I want to take a piece of the pie out of it, and I want to move on. Somebody else wants to come in, so they've only owned it for 3 years. Typically, like we want to sell a business that's been operating at minimum 3 years, right? Because banks want to see 3 years financials. Like that's usually when you're generating enough revenue where it's feasible. But we sell businesses all the time that have been operating 6 months or 12 months or 20 years. Like there's not like this is the end all
standard model, right?
No, but definitely the best businesses are growing businesses that are generating revenue. It doesn't matter 3 years or 20 years. Generally, if you're 20 years and you've been growing for 20 years, you're worth more. If it's 3 years and you're still growing, you're worth something. You're just not worth as much as a 20-year-old, but you're having the opportunity to level up it's just like real estate, right? You sell the little house and you buy a bigger house. Business owners do the same thing. They build their little business, capitalize it, and they take that money to get a loan, 10%, and they buy a bigger business. And all of a sudden, they've catapulted their knowledge and their money higher.
The last question, they get a loan. That was my next question. Talk to us about this. Where do people? I mean, I know a lot of people sounds like a great idea. I want to buy a business. Where do you find they get access, and do you help people find access to buy these businesses? Do you do any connection like that? Talk about that, Ryan.
Yeah, so absolutely. So I think that the biggest misconception in buying business is that you have to like a bank loan or a seller financing or cash, right? Well, I think bank loans, people look at that and go like, that's a hurdle, right? But when you buy a house, you never look at it and go like, oh, a mortgage is a hurdle. That's just how we do it. Well, in the business world, we have the SBA, and the government provides the SBA as a loan program that we can borrow $5 million, up to $5 million, and you have to bring 10% down. That's the minimum.
Really? Okay.
Yep. So it's a very low, so if you're buying $1 million business, it's $100,000, right? If you're buying a $500,000 business, it's $50,000, right? Like, so you can buy legitimate businesses for not very much capital down. So it's a really great avenue. We help with that. Definitely we help if you have cash. If you want to buy a business cash, we'll do that. Seller finance, we generally help with that. We're helping negotiate with the sellers. Like, go, hey, we prepare the sellers. Seller finance is an option, and it is part of it. But generally, sellers are wanting 50% down, right? So they're wanting a large chunk.
Of course, they want to cash out a bit, right?
Yeah, they want security, right? They if they're not going to loan $1 million to somebody that they don't know, they may loan $500,000 or $250,000 to somebody they don't know.
Well, do you find some owners staying on that are doing that? Still, is there any negotiating, like still keeping a percentage of the company, just not operating?
Not typically. Like, it's really hard. Like, owners, like, I love business owners. I've been in a family business my whole life. And so in entrepreneurs, business owners are very proud of what they've done and built, but they're even more proud of the way they do it, right? And nothing irks them more than somebody coming and go, I think we're going to go in a different direction,
Oh.
right? And they're not very excited
Right.
about that. So typically they're not like the best partners to keep on. And the government, the SBA, has said that's not, we prefer that not to happen. Like there's some guidelines that they can only stay on for a certain amount of time. So there's some limitations when you get a bank loan. And operationally, like if you're an entrepreneur, you're coming in to change the business, you're like, I really don't want the old guy around.
Right. So my partner mentioned just a moment ago, get into the business, have an exit strategy. In a recent post you made, I think it was on LinkedIn, you said, thinking about selling your business, start planning now. The strongest sales come with early preparation. So talk to us a little bit about that. Talk to our audience about that. If they are sitting on a business and they're thinking, one day I would like to exit this thing. I would like to sell it. What are some small things that companies can be doing in year 1, 2, and 3 that are going to help them out if they decide they want to go?
Yeah, so I think that the simplest one is like owner-centric businesses. If you're a business that relies on you as the owner, right, figure out ways to take yourself out of that, right? Like you need to start
great.
like divesting some of your responsibilities. If you're the number one salesperson, that's a bad thing, right? You need to start bringing in people that carry some of that weight. Definitely you're going to provide guidance, but you need to think of it as if you're not there tomorrow, how effective is this business? That provides value, right? So that's important. The other thing that I think people don't think of is customer concentration. Like if you're a business that relies on like 1 or 2 or 3 customers, that's not good either. That's very high risk for a buyer. So you're going like, okay, that's extremely high risk. How do I diversify that? And I think one of the great ones that a lot of investors love these days, if you're looking to sell your business like for top dollar, is residual income. Right, like so something that is going to hit the bank every month. Like when I think of that, one of the number one businesses that I go like that business has a ton of residual income is like Verizon, T-Mobile. Like they have 5-year contracts. They know every one of their customers for 5 years is going to keep writing them a check. That's why pest control is so valuable, because they go like pest control is like $30 a month. That check's coming in. Like, so if you can come up with some aspect in your business, it doesn't need to be a big part of it, but that you're getting residual income that's coming in every month. There is a way to do that almost in any business, and just figure it out. One of the cool things is ChatGPT. Just go on there and go like, hey, this is my business. How do I generate residual income? Give me some options. And it will give you some options on how to improve your business.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the stuff that they come up with now, it's like, it's crazy. And not only does it come up, it comes up in like a millisecond. Too.
Yeah.
It's like before you can even get the words out.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is AI going to impact, since you brought it up, how is AI going to impact selling our businesses in the future?
I think that it definitely does, right? Like it improve. We use it every day, right? We use it to improve the product that we're putting out there to sell the business. We're improving like who we can get connected, like also like buyers use it to connect to us. But I think there's one of the most amazing parts about selling a business is when we get a buyer and a seller and we have a contract agreed upon, we're now working in due diligence together for the next 30 to 45 days where we're meeting weekly together. And so there's a lot of like high touch where we're connecting, but there's a lot of stuff that like we get a lot of purchase agreements or LOIs that are generated from ChatGPT. And it's a very simple way to get started. You can bring in an attorney. We can call Gary, have him bring his friends in. But you can bring in an attorney after the LOI or before the LOI. But there's a lot of technology that AI will give us on, hey, these are questions to ask when you're buying a business. Like, hey, what should I ask? Like, what do I need to know about this business? Like, so there's a lot of like educational stuff about the industry and the business that you get from AI, but there's still a lot of high touch in owning a business that you have to sit across the table from a buyer and seller.
You need humans.
Yeah.
You need humans for this. I was wondering, how did you even get started in this?
So
were you like a business major?
None of the above. I grew up on a farm in Southern California, and so I've been
What kind of farm?
Egg farm.
Oh,
so
okay.
chickens and eggs. Yep. And we ended up selling the farm, and I moved over here on another egg farm, and I've been in agriculture my whole life, and we just decided, my wife and I have been in family business and owned businesses before. and we decided we were going to get back into business, and we enlisted Transworld Phoenix to help us. And then we got friends with the owner, and he's like, "I'm moving. Do you want to buy me?" And we got into
business you bought.
This was the business we
So
bought.
you bought the business.
Yeah, so we bought the business, and now we have 14 agents on our team here in the Valley.
Congratulations!
And
awesome.
yeah, so we're excited to help. We love Phoenix, and we love the people here.
What is Transworld? What do you guys do?
So we're
Who calls you?
So who calls we're Main Street business brokers, right? So we are not middle market. We're like, if you're a business that's generating 10 to 15 million in revenue down to 100,000 in gross revenue, you call us. Like our average business sale is about 450,000, right? So we're definitely like we would sell this pizza place. Like this is what we would sell, right? We sell med spas. We just sold a med spa last week, 195,000. Like local here in Mesa, great little business, owner operator, new owner operators coming in. We do sell big ones, but generally it's a mom and pops that are owner operators that we're helping them find the next person to carry on the legacy.
I have a question, which is like, say somebody's sitting around, they got $100,000, right? And they're like, I would love I'm hearing this guy talk, and I'm interested. Like, what can I do with that $100,000? And you just mentioned this nail salon that sells for $195,000.
You said 10% down. That's going to get you.
Yeah, but then you got to finance it, right?
Yeah.
So I would want to find somebody else. I'd have to find it, but I don't know. Anyways, somebody's got $100,000. They're sitting on it. They like to do some of this stuff. What kinds of businesses are going to kick that money back to them?
So like if I had $100,000, right? Like I'm looking at a business, like if I'm buying, right, I would get a loan, right? Because that's more, if I'm going to be like a maybe semi-absentee or a high level owner operator, right? I'm going to borrow $500 to $1 million, and I'm going to buy whether it's a nail salon. Right now it'd be a nail salon, a small 2 to 3 person HVAC company, a plumbing company of that size. So it's very like 2 to 3 employee size where you're still a big part of it. But I would also look at an industry that has no ceiling, right? Something that it can grow. Like great example, we sold a business. It was a restaurant in a office building, and it had captive audience, right? 1,000 people showed up every day to buy sandwiches. And they're like, it's amazing, makes $60,000 a year. It also will never make $80,000 a year, right? Because it has a captive audience. So it had a ceiling, and it was one of those things where it's like there's pros and cons to every business, And so, something that has a ceiling, if that's what I'm looking for. The other thing that people overlook is if you're going to be an owner operator, make sure it's near you, right? You don't want you don't want to live in the West Valley and buy in Mesa.
And make sure you like it. Listen, because I bring the advertising background here, so I've worked with a lot of business owners, and I can't tell you how many business owners get into business saying like, you know what, I bought a restaurant, and I hate to cook, and I'm the owner operator. I should have thought of that before I got buying a restaurant.
Gary buying a hair salon.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? Or you get what you're saying. Like when people they really don't dive into that piece of it. They look at the money, the probability. Like, what will I even like doing this? Is this like is nail salon does the smell of the being in a nail salon gonna drive me crazy? That stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you have to have you don't have to necessarily like the business, but you have to have a passion for it. It can't be something that you're turned off from. Like there's certain industries
you don't want to be there.
Yeah, that I'm like I don't want any part of this. But there are like a med spa, right? They're profitable. We've sold a bunch of them, but they're just not my thing, right? So I would never be that guy going like I want to own a med spa, but I know they generate a lot of revenue, and so. But there are other industries where people are like, well, why you like anything in agriculture? Like I'm like, I like that, and they're like, but it's farming. I'm like, yeah, but that's what. That's what I know.
Their comfort zone.
So I think that you have to at least, if you have to have a passion for it or a comfort level, or at least a curiousness about it. And you have to want. I think the biggest thing entrepreneurs miss out on is. You have to commit to this. Like this is like
it's
a
not
commitment.
a toe in the water. We've been learning
yes,
that.
Everyone thinks it's like, I get to sleep in. I get to sleep in late every day. No, the opposite. You got to get up earlier.
First one up. Last one out.
So before we finish up here, I got an Olympic. As we're doing this, we haven't mentioned Olympics are going on now. It's been a while, so I got a quick. I'm going to say Olympic style.
All right, here's how we round third base on this show.
All right,
here we go.
If buying or selling a business were like passing a torch, that's the Olympic competition, and a relay race, what does the perfect handoff look like?
I think the perfect handoff is somebody that has, so the guy handing off has prepared their business for the next person, right? And also he's prepared himself, like, to do something different, right? Like, he's prepared himself to go, like, I'm passing off the torch. I'm not following that torch anymore.
Right. It's yours.
Right? Yep.
You run them.
Yeah, I'm going to go find a new torch, right? That's very important. And the new guy has to go, like, a lot of people have put a lot into this torch for me to carry this, right? And how can I build on what was handed to me and grow it to something great, and do it in a way that is, like, best for everyone. Like, and I think that, like, and not, like, there's a lot of history and knowledge. Like, don't throw it all away. Like, don't look at where that torch came from and go, oh, that last 3 miles was nothing. This next 3 miles is the hardest. It's like, no, go, like, how can I capitalize on the last 3 miles and go, like, let's build it for the next 3.
That's a high quality answer, man.
I love that.
Oh, thank you so much for coming by today too, Ron.
Yeah, and you didn't lay a finger on your buddy there.
I know.
Boy,
well,
man, he owes you. He didn't lay a finger on Gary.
I like to think that we save the best for last.
Yes, I was going to say he took the gentleman way. Maybe that's going to make you look a little shy.
Well, he did make me blush over there.
And listen, you queued him up. He's got nothing to do but to thank you, but that's for sure.
Yeah,
I appreciate.
And you don't look as bad as he. I'm sure everybody doesn't.
I still have a little hair, so there's that.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
A lot more than a lot.
We will link to Ryan Armstrong and all of his adventures at Transworld in our show notes. Thank you again for being a guest on our show. And before we run, just another quick thank you to Bellis at Duenas Eden Crevata, Tutor Doctor, Coulter Infinity, Amy Richardson, and of course right here at Vero Pizza where it all started.
And our newbie, Brewers Air Conditioning and Heating. We got to get that.
That's it, man.
That's going to be on the repertoire from here on in.
I'm a big fan of Brewers. Yes. I hired them to do my air conditioning.
We both did, not because they're partners, but that's why we wanted them to be partners on the show, because we
believe in them.
We believe in them.
Yeah.
That was
That's it.
Great cue.
All right, good stuff. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us grow. And make sure you're following us on social media as well. We will see you next week, where we're going to be at Bella's Set, right down here in Ahwatukee. Yes. We've got a star-studded show next week as well, so we're looking forward to that.
Yes, I said spicy but classy. How did I say it's going to be? So dial in.
Who cares?
Yes.
If you want to see
spicy.
it.
Okay.
See you there. Have a good day, everybody.